Hmm?
I'm about to sneeze, of course.
Oh.
What?
So Jeff, you
Vas-y,
ready
c'est
to
parti.
get-
10, 9, ignition sequence start.
Hey there, guys. It's Stacy Miller here with Remax Fine Properties and Got Spouse Need House. And I have my co-host Jeff here. Jeff, introduce yourself.
Hello, Jeff Williamson from Fairway Independent Mortgage.
Perfect. He's one of my partners with Got Spouse Need House, our website, and we can kind of go over more details about what all that does for our buyers out there and sellers. And we have a guest today named Brian Gratz. Brian, say hi.
Hi guys. Yeah, very excited. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I've got to
Yes.
first back up. How did you like that little intro video we did?
I was very impressed. I was like, man, okay, I got some competition.
Well, I
It's
can
always
tell
good
it
for
was
you.
yeah. Right. So Brian has a wedding videography company that he actually was listening to some of what other things that he does as far as videography, but he really specializes in weddings and things like that. So Brian, how did you get started in videography?
Yeah, so I always had a passion for video. I was actually at 𝐒𝐇𝐈𝐒, the broadcast journalism school here at ASU. And then I joined the Air Force as a videographer. So I have a little bit of a unique path. I spent 7 years active duty doing video for the Air Force and for the Department of Defense.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a whole other podcast, right?
I know, right? Yeah, so a little less traditional, but I was able to do everything from documentaries to live broadcasts to radio. So a bunch of unique broadcast skills. And then when I got out, I just loved it. I have a passion for video, so I just decided to keep it going, started the business, and it kind of took off.
So tell me, back up to the military, what kind of videography did you do there, or is it top secret?
Yeah, it's classified. I can't tell you. No, I'm sure. So we did everything from humanitarian pieces. So if there's, let's say, like a hurricane, we'd go out, film our men and women in arms, donating, cleaning up, doing humanitarian work. I spent most of that time overseas, so I would film anything from live action outside the wire, and I was young then, so I was invincible, so it was easy for me just to live through the camera, live through the lens, and film what was going on. But a lot of cool stuff. I got to fly in jets. I got to live all over the world as a young 20-year-old. So really exciting stuff. But yeah, we filmed documentaries, news pieces, and then combat footage as well.
Wow, that is outstanding. And then how did you step into the videography end?
Yeah. So when I got out, I had all this video skill, and just from there, it just kind of took off. Where I applied all that video skill that I gained over that 7 years of being active duty, and applied it to the wedding space. I joke it's only a little less stressful filming weddings than it is filming combat, but no, it's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And so was your first video that you did with a wedding, was that like a friend of a friend, or was it something that you just knew immediately that was your next step?
I feel like a lot of us wedding videographers, we kind of have a similar story. It's like a friend of a friend that gives us an opportunity. So with me, it was my sister. I filmed my sister's wedding, so I looked up a bunch of wedding videos and was like, you know what, I think I could do this, and filmed her wedding as a wedding gift, and that was my first time as a wedding videographer.
The intro. And did you learn, or do you look back at that video and go, oh yeah, probably should have done this differently?
Yeah,
pretty solid.
She loves it, but I don't watch it anymore. It's one of those.
Right.
a lot of artists don't like looking at their old stuff.
Right. Experience matters, right? That's awesome. What do you love most about capturing videos for weddings specifically?
You know, I think it's something where it's capturing the most important day of their lives is something that I take so serious, and being able to do it in the cinematic way that I'm able to do it, when I get the feedback of like happy tears, that's something that you don't get in a lot of other industries. The goosebumps. When you get the goosebumps from the couples, when you get the 11 o'clock text messages, probably after too many glasses of wine, saying thank you, like we're watching it like 10 times in a row. Those are the things that make it all worth it, and those are the things that really gravitate with me and why I take it so serious.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You walk away going, yeah, I was the man. What's your kind of signature shot that you are like, this is a must-have with every one of my couples?
Yeah, so we use a lot of drone, and when you watch our wedding films, like wedding films, they can be slow and romantic. That's definitely a style, but with us, we want them to be fast-paced, energetic. So we use a lot of audio from the day. We use drone, a lot of like kind of those cool cinematic things that elevate a wedding video into what we like to call in the wedding film space, a wedding film. So that's what some of those cinematic things elevate it. And then from there, you can really just kind of personalize it. Like I said, using audio from the day is such an important thing and something that we specialize in. So capturing audio from the ceremony, when the best man screws up during his speech at the reception, that's all stuff that we record and capture, and then incorporate in fun ways into the wedding film. So that way, it's more than just video from the day and some music underneath. It's a way to relive your wedding, which is what it's all about.
Yeah, and you're going from tears to laughing, back to tears. That's when you know you nailed it.
That's the kind of emotional journey we want to bring them on. All that very heartfelt stuff leading up to the climax of the ceremony. And then from there, it's that fun party, that fun energy from the wedding. So like ours, for example, like they're very fast paced. We want it to be like this big injection of energy, because most weddings, they are that. They're so much fun, and we want that to come across. We want couples to be able to watch their wedding film, and as soon as it ends, be really excited to watch it over again.
Watch it again, yeah. And to share it, right?
Yes.
That's awesome. What are some of the trends that you're seeing that really work well? And I apologize, I'm about to sneeze, so I'm gonna jump on the camera here.
Yeah. Pass it off as happy tears for me to explain. In terms of trends, things move so fast, especially with social media. So maybe even the main version of the video you get will look different than the social media version. But I think we're seeing a lot of kind of like old, trendy retro stuff where like a camcorder will be passed around during like cocktail hour by a bridesmaid will walk around with a camcorder, and finding ways to like incorporate some of that footage into like this very professional, polished look as well, blending in some of like that old early 90s kind of vibes as well is really trendy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Some of the more challenging the challenges that you've overcome in creative ways.
I think the challenge for us is always audio. It's something where we want to almost be flies on the wall in terms of we want people to act natural and just like have those beautiful candid reactions throughout their wedding day, right? So their vows are such an impactful audio moment, speeches during the reception, and then just those little tiny moments throughout the day, whether that be a first look, like their reaction as they see their beautiful bride, like those are audio moments that are just really impactful, and again, like I said, kind of tie you back to your wedding day. So capturing those is always a really challenging thing for us, but always really important, and we always really try to capture those with really high quality audio.
I love it. I love that. And just FYI out there, if you have questions, if you have anything for any of us, but especially for Brian, let us know. Type it in, let us know, and we'll get back with you for sure. Can you share some of the more memorable or unique moments that you've captured? Like I'm sure it's probably your sister's wedding, but what's like one of the most memorable moments that you've captured?
Well, outside of that, no, I've actually been really fortunate. So this past summer, even a couple flew me out to Scotland to film their wedding. So being able to have not just that type of recognition that we're heading in the right direction, that we're doing good work, which is really important to me. That a couple's willing to do that, fly us to the other side of the world to capture their wedding. Traveling the world, I think that's always like a surreal moment where, wait, I get to travel and do this. Yeah, right. So traveling to Italy, traveling to Scotland, traveling to Mexico to film weddings. It's never something I thought would happen for me. But I'm truly fortunate and blessed to, take it as serious as I do and put as much effort into it as I do, that couples recognize that and want me to be a part of their big day. So yeah, this past weekend or this past summer in Scotland was pretty awesome.
I don't know if you saw it yet, Jeff, but I did check out your Instagram.
Yeah.
Ryan, and I saw the Scotland videos, and you've got some outstanding videos on your social media. So what is your social media, so everybody knows that?
Yes, it's at @𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒_creative_management. You can find us if you type in 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒, GRATZ. You should see it right away. But yeah, we post a lot of fun stuff on our social too. That's a great way just to kind of see the fun side of our work. Wedding films, your wedding should be fun. All that fun energy from you and your friends and your guests and your family. Again, the social is a great way to kind of see that kind of come through, and it all kind of makes sense from there.
And I think that's really the way everything is gearing towards nowadays. It is, before I Google somebody, I look them up on social media, whether it be, and usually I start with Instagram, and then it's Facebook, and then it's LinkedIn. So that's kind of mine. But everybody's got their one favorite social media platform that they use. So it's important to be active, especially as a realtor and as a lender, to be active on all of those, because what is my favorite is not necessarily someone else's favorite. So we need to be as searchable and as appearable as possible to help the most amount of people. So I think that's super important. What advice can you give to couples that are interviewing and looking for that videographer? Of course, the advice is first, just call you and
yeah.
But if they're looking for a videographer, what's some advice that you can give out?
I think obviously style is a big part of it. Finding someone that blends with what you're going for in terms of style. But I think like the overarching thing, and probably the biggest thing is, this is someone who's going to be with you on the biggest day of your life. And you want to find someone that vibes with you, that is a good hang. As silly as that sounds, I think that's a big part of it. Just finding someone who's a really good hang that you want to spend those intimate moments of your day with, getting ready, hanging out pre-ceremony, obviously the ceremony, and then all those fun moments throughout the evening during the reception. We're right there to support them. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing. Just jump on a Zoom, jump on a call with potential videographers, and just read the room, read the vibes. There's so many talented videographers, especially here in Arizona. You just want to find someone that really fits what you're going for in terms of being able to blend into the rest of your bridal party and fit in and be able to hang out with your family and have it just feel really comfortable.
Right. It's huge. I think it's so important. We were actually, Jeff, off camera before this started, we were actually talking about how I was restaurant manager for 13 years prior to a stay-at-home mom, and then prior to real estate. But we were talking about how it's all service. It's all exceeding customers' expectations.
Yep.
Being a celebratory person, realtor, lender, being there to just make the most impact and the most difference and the most, in the stressful situations, to bring calmness and make sure that your compassion kind of shows through on
Exactly. it could be in a restaurant providing a certain experience for the client, for the guest, and it's always at the end of the day, the experience for the client, always, and how you can continue to outperform, and finding different ways. I love the travel that you're traveling, because I'm fortunate enough to be licensed in several other states, and we have relationships there, and being able to be around a different environment, different people, different way of doing things. You're gonna be able to create different things. It's gonna change you a little bit. You're gonna be immersed in something that's you're out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
And you may end up doing things that you wouldn't have done if you just remained in Arizona doing everything, because different environments, different weather, different people change your mood. They change how you behave and act, and how and it gives you different ideas. So that's a huge thing. It's great that you're not in just one market, so.
Yep.
Experience and viewpoints. It gives you both
Right.
of those. Yeah.
Well, you can come back here and share, what's working for this builder out of state, what's working for this real estate agent, what are they doing, why are they doing this, how'd they get there, and then you come back here and you share the story, or you say, hey, listen, I was just in Wisconsin, and these guys are on fire, and it's because of this, or they're doing this, or they're, you're not thinking about this, we got to do this together, and again, together, that's how we do this. We're all here for a certain goal, and to be able to help each other reach that is huge. But you got to share the story. It's always about the story. You don't have any stories, you're not interesting. I can talk about mortgages for about a couple minutes, and you got to get onto something else. Talk about your agents, what are they doing? Talk about your builder partners, talk about where you travel. That's how you're going to keep your audience. You have a different way, of course, of keeping the audience. You're capturing those moments, but it all blends very well together. So
Yeah, agreed. On that note where you said, traveling the world, and I have an accountability group that meets once a week, and we talk to each other all day long on WhatsApp, and it's 30-ish agents from all over the United States, and so that is absolutely some different viewpoint, how you handle situations. A lot of times, before I even ask any of my partners here in Phoenix, I'll go on my WhatsApp and say, here's my issue, has anybody dealt with this? And they can all chime in different viewpoints of how they handle the situation. So that's huge, but it's nice if you kind of level up to those around you, and I'm sure that's a little bit about what we're talking about too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and we're kind of tying it back already to the housing market. And this is a great question for you. What's one piece of advice that you'd give couples that are transferring from planning a wedding to now they're planning their life together, after the wedding, or towards the wedding being completed? Now they're transitioning to, now we're planning a life together. We're buying a house. We're talking about kids maybe down the road. But how do you have you seen some couples that are kind of going through that next step already as you're planning a wedding?
Oh yeah, and even on a wedding day, that's oftentimes incorporated into their wedding, where they're talking about it during their vows. They're saying, like, I can't wait for this next chapter. I can't wait to move in together. I can't wait to build a house together, to move, and go through all those life stages. That's definitely a big part of the wedding. It's the culmination of the love story, but then it's off on this next great adventure, wherever that leads the couple. So, I'm 34. I don't know if I can give this big sage advice as if I have too much experience. But I do have a fiance, so I can dabble in the experience side of things. But I think the biggest thing, what I've seen successful, is just couples that really communicate. It really just boils down to communication, figuring out like what those next goals are for the couple, whether they want to buy a new home or have like a long-term goal to maybe move somewhere else and buy a home. So those are things, it just comes down to communication, and like anything else.
like anything else. That is exactly right. Yeah, like anything else, as long as you can communicate with each other, then the rest is easy. And with clients, same thing. As long as you can as I can communicate well with my clients, my buyers, my sellers, then that brings that trust factor around, and trust and communication makes everything.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, do you have any of those moments where you're working with an engaged couple that are trying to plan all of it together?
Actually, just recently, I think one, oh gosh, was it the same weekend they were closing on the home as the wedding?
Oh wow.
I said, listen, when you have the most happening, it's like, the whole thing, give it to the busiest person. But when you have that momentum and you're just everything is moving, sometimes that actually flows better than if you have these space in between. It's all about just keeping that flow. But yes, you're seeing it from we're going to start looking after the wedding. There's people that have started looking during that same time. Obviously, they have things managed well together, or one person divide and conquer, whatever, however you're doing it. But yes, I've seen it, and again, I think it was actually they closed on that weekend that they got married. So it's like that's kind of cool. The wedding's over and you just move right into the home. So why not? Exactly. That's a wedding. That's a nice wedding. So, but yeah, you see it across the board. Everybody's like, oh, well, people really aren't. You hear some people saying, well, how would people be thinking about that right now? They've got so much going on and this and that. And like, well, they do. So
Yeah.
there isn't really any one set frame of timing. And it's all exciting. It really is everything about it.
No
So,
one size fits all, right?
exactly.
I'm better
So,
with all. We talk about with my real estate coach. We talk about the calm and the storm and the calm before the storm. And really, when you have that calm, your mindset should be take a step back, enjoy. Get your personal life. Focus on your kids, your family. It's not me. I focus on my family tons. Trust me, but I love the storm. I want all the storm.
Yeah.
I want no calm.
yeah. Now I function definitely exceptionally better in the chaos and all of that. It just seems to work. I think when I have too much time for something, you're not utilizing it well enough. I mean, it's one thing to utilize your time wisely on a day-to-day, but something like this, it's better to just kind of keep a flow, so to speak. But yeah, it works a lot better when there's a lot happening at one time. For me,
Agree.
anyways.
I agree.
So.
How about you, Brian? Are you that same way that you like the storm or you like the calm?
I don't know if it's my military background or what, but I get antsy if I'm not, don't have something big on the horizon. So we are always, knee deep in projects and doing stuff like that. But yeah, I would say if you can find, kind of your, Jeff, like you mentioned, your flow in that kind of storm, I think typically like you can end up being really successful.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times if you don't have a lot of time, you're going to make a decision a lot faster than if you have all day,
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
It's like going to, trying to wrap up your Christmas shopping day before Christmas, it's like you're out of time. I know. I'll just go ahead and own that too. Just, there's always those last ones, but you don't have any time. Like you have to make a decision. So
Yeah.
sometimes that's good for you if you're that type of person that does well with that pressure. It's maybe a little bit better than if you didn't have it. So I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah.
What, Jeff? What's the favorite place that you've visited as far as travel? We talked about travel a little bit. That's my love language is travel. So what's your favorite place that you've visited, either internationally or in the United States?
I really haven't been out of the country, to be honest. I've got a lot to do in that arena for sure. I'm sure, Brian, you can share stories of everywhere else, but right?
Oh, yeah.
So, it's with that said, I mean, obviously I love the California and San Diego and that whole, it's easy. There's, you know, so many different parts of that you know, you can enjoy. And I would say, you know, I was just recently in Chicago. That's an incredible city. A lot going on, a lot of movement, a lot of chaos. You know, it's not. But yeah, I'd say, you know, here, those. But again, I don't have a lot of experiences out of the country. That's definitely on the list. So yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Brian? Scotland, obviously.
Well, I mean, you know, I was spoiled. I was stationed in Italy for 2.5 years, and then in Germany and South Korea as well. So I got a lot of experience living overseas, and you know, I definitely recommend it. It's one of those things that just kind of makes, I think, you more of a fulfilled person if you're able to get out, experience different cultures and things like that. So my fiance Kara, shout out to Kara, she's watching this, she's excited. We love San Diego too, Jeff. So we're always there once a year, heading down to the beautiful weather. And then I'm like, why don't I just stay here? Why am I leaving? Back to the heat.
Yeah, it's pretty consistent there. It doesn't matter where you're north. It doesn't matter anywhere you're at, especially along the ocean is certainly enjoyable.
Yeah,
we have mountain views here. That's our ocean.
that is our ocean. For sure.
Right.
So,
Or Rocky Point.
Yeah.
there's that too. Yeah.
So I love travel. And actually this is a great little pro tip for those out there that are engaged and planning their futures. My husband and I, just a few years ago, probably 10 years ago, started, instead of giving each other anniversary gifts, we would plan surprise trips for each other.
That's fun.
That's really cool.
Amazing. Of course, when our kids were younger, it was like, okay, we'd maybe get an overnight in the state next door, you know, over in Arkansas or Louisiana. And I'm from Texas, by the way. So, but as the kids have gotten older, we've been able to stretch it out more and more. A couple of my favorite ones, Boston. Wow, hands
Boston?
down. Boston, so
Boston.
awesome.
Boston was great.
Florida, we went to Hollywood Beach was another one. That was incredible. We were up in Washington at the base of Mount Rainier was our cabin. And so, you know, open the door and there's moose just walking past, an elk and all this stuff. So yeah, that was a pretty enjoyable trip. But that's one of the Davey and my favorite things to do each year. We've got this big map and we scratch off
that's
the state
awesome.
we've been there. And so we're trying to knock off all 50 states, but it's been really cool because it just gives us some time that we completely check out. It's just us two. We kind of talk about the future, about the past year, about, you know, it just, we connect on a different level, and it's so fun to come back from those trips every year and start planning for the next one. But we trade turns each year. So as you're planning your lives together, your wedding, your house purchase, all of that, includes something similar to that surprise trip. And literally, well, the first time it was a train wreck because he said, "I'm packing all your bags for you." Becky, if you're a girl, not a good idea. After that, now we just say, hey, we're going to be gone 6 nights, 7 days. Here's the temperature split in the day
fun.
and the night. It might be rainy, and that's all. We know nothing else until you get to the airport.
That's great.
Wow, that's a lot of fun.
That actually is fun. That sounds fun.
Amazing. And again, the connection that we have together, whether it's, you know, 2 or 3 days or whether it's a week, it's just us, you know, and it's amazing. So yeah, hands down, I recommend doing that. We're kind of winding up on time here. Do you happen to have a favorite story, Brian, that inspires your work?
A favorite story. I mean, obviously, I never take it for granted. I think it's probably the biggest thing. Every time a couple reaches out, I'm like giddy. that they're considering us, to be a part of their wedding day. A story that kind of sticks out is video. It's starting to change in terms of, you asked about trends. Video typically maybe starts as like a lower ticket item. So you got to think about the venue, you got to think about photo, which are all very important. But oftentimes video ends up being couple's favorite part of the wedding experience. The day happens so fast for the couple, and photos are, like I said, very important. But there's certain things that video just does a better job capturing. So oftentimes video becomes like that favorite part for couples, not just for them, but for their family too. Something that always just stood out with me, we had a couple, and shortly after, his mother passed away. But we had 2 weeks after, and so we had video coverage of him giving a speech, interacting with friends and family at a wedding. And that's just one of those moments where it's like, okay, that's why I'm doing this. This is the whole point of why I take it as serious as I do, to have that something to look back on for your family.
Forever.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Wow.
So we were able to package all the clips specifically of him together, so they had their own separate way to kind of remember him by, which was really special and important. And that was one of those moments that stuck with me. Anytime I'm like, all right, like what's the next thing? Why I treat it as serious as I do every single time is for moments like that. These are legacy things that we're doing. These aren't just about the wedding day. It's about showing your kids 10 years from now. It's about having friends and family in a dressed up moment, that is really special. And that's definitely part of why we do what we do.
Wow, that's very cool. That's cool. Jeff, have you had any of those moments that just go, this is why?
You do. It happens more than I'd like to say, but where you have clients that perhaps we're working with before they met us, another original lender, and something doesn't go well. They're told that they can't purchase a home. They're told they're not approved. It could be a number of issues. It could be credit. It could be not calculating income correctly. Whatever the reason is, they're immediately crushed. They want to be in a certain. They want to be in a home. They want to own a home. They want to be in a certain school district. Whatever the reasons are, and time and time again, we've been able to save the day. And whether they were their second go-to or their third go-to, even being a turn-down lender for some major builders, we would get all of the ones that they passed on or declined. So we're used to seeing a lot of damage. And initially, getting into that role, we were closing more than 50% of those that were told they couldn't buy a home. So, the emotion from that, the gratitude, just being able to know that you really did make a difference. And if it wasn't for aligning with us, who knows where they would be. That'll continue to happen throughout the career, because it just does. So you wonder, how much is that happening in the rest of the country? How many people are being told no, they don't have a second option, or they didn't get the right second option, which would be us, or a third, and now everything gets turned upside down. So just having people come up to you at times, randomly in front of friends you're sitting with and saying, thanks you for doing this for my family, we can't thank you enough, all of those, that's definitely why we're here to perform. That doesn't mean you're promised that every loan's going to be easy. In fact, I will go head first in the most difficult ones, because that's what makes it at the end of the day. I will always fight the fight till no fight's left. Our team will, Fairway will. I've never had a group that I've worked with in my 25 years that anticipated each other's needs as a team to execute and make sure things get done. So that would be it at the end of the day, is that we're definitely making a difference by getting things to the finish line, when they were told that they couldn't. So that's probably the biggest thing.
I can vouch for you on Fairway and the performance of Fairway. I've worked with Fairway for years, and their lowest and when they've been told no and no, and picking people up and making them homeowners and giving them keys is outstanding. You guys do a great job.
Thank
We're
you.
kind of on that topic. So tell me what, for all of our listeners, Got Spouse Need House is our website. We are offering some perks and incentives to our newlywed couples, and I mean, I'm guessing maybe even their family members. I'm not sure. But Jeff, tell me the perks of using Fairway and our title company for your purchases.
So we're offering the cost of an appraisal, which is a true bona fide cost. Everyone, in most cases will need an appraisal for the home. Um, and then title, they're doing a reduced or discounted fees as well with the program. So that's what we're offering currently. And there's always a lot of flexibility, and everyone, has a unique. You think you've seen every situation and every profile. It never ceases to amaze. There's always something new, but that's what keeps it interesting. So, we do what we can, and we can scale it and have flexibility a lot of different ways. But that's what it is on the surface, is the cost of an appraisal that we're doing. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah,
And as far as my compensation, so what we do is I team with Jeff at Fairway, our title company, and then I also give a portion of my commission back to the buyer at close of escrow. It'd be on the settlement statement, so it's legit. But so when you tie all that in together, I mean that could be thousands of dollars in savings for our brides and grooms as they're out trying to start their lives together and plan weddings and hire videographers and all that. So, but we're excited to do that. We love first time home buyers. I think my jam, Jeff, is um, when I can help that first time home buyer become an investor.
yeah,
Because that's something that if you have an investment property and you're a homeowner already, that's something that's going to be a life changer for the rest
right,
of your life.
yeah,
You're a 25-year-old investor. It's a pretty sweet flex. So
yeah,
I like to help show buyers how they can purchase that first home. The first home is not going to be your dream home, but purchase that first home, turn that into a rental, use some of that rental income or potential rental income as income that an underwriter and a lender will be able to use, and then roll that over and buy the next house and just keep stepping up every few years. And now maybe you're at 30 or 35 and you've got 2 or 3 investment properties and you're a homeowner. So, that's something that can change your life down the road, retire at 50, 60 years old, and do what you want to do. So that's my jam. I love that part of it. I've got 2 children that are on track there. My oldest just bought in Flagstaff his little condo. It's a little sardine shack, but it's his condo. So
right.
we have that, and he's going to be buying a home here in Phoenix soon, hopefully keeping that one. And then my youngest is trying to buy a 2 or 3 fourplex, something like that. So it should be fun, and we'll be using Fairway, of course.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, do you have any other little tidbits or anything like that that you want to add into the conversation?
The radio guy needs to know how to work his mic. No, this has been really good. I appreciate you guys bringing me on. It's been a lot of fun. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. And of course, if you want more information or just to learn more about video, of course, reach out. Instagram is great, Gross Creative Management. Our website, same thing, grosscreativemanagement.com. But no, I really appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You've been wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you guys.
Well, thank you
Absolutely.
guys for watching. We'll see you next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I don't think I don't have the guest info in front of me, but watch for some marketing pieces on that so you can see who's coming next. And thank you, Brian. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Have a great rest of the week.
Y'all too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.